In this video, we'll be taking a look at 3 college football games happening on November 11, 2023, and providing you with free team picks and total picks for each one of those games, so 6 picks in total. Welcome back to Cash Out Sports. Let's dive right into it. Oh, and don't forget to subscribe and to click the bell icon to get notified as soon as these videos get released, so that you have more time to plan out your bets as we provide these videos on a daily basis. I can guarantee that you'll have all the important information that you'll need on these 3 college football games after fully watching this video. One more thing before we start. If you would like to gain access to our best exclusive sports picks to take your journey to the next level, then check out our Patreon in the link down below, where we offer our best single picks, parlay picks, and much more. Now let's get started. Michigan versus Penn State. In a clash of titans, the undefeated Michigan Wolverines, standing tall at 9-0 and positioned among the nation's top 5 teams, are set to face the 8-1 Nittany Lions of Penn State. This colossal battle within the Big Ten not only promises a spectacle for college football enthusiasts, but carries potential ramifications for the NCAA playoffs and bowl assignments. The marquee matchup features the country's top 2 defenses and emerges as the weekend's most significant game. Michigan has navigated its season with impressive ease, demonstrating dominance against all challengers. Across their initial 8 games, the Wolverines averaged an astounding 41 points, amassing 44 touchdowns. Their offensive prowess included 20 passing scores, 4 interceptions, and a solid ground game, registering 247.4 yards per game with 20 rushing touchdowns. In their recent encounter with Purdue, Michigan asserted its offensive might, securing a commanding 41-13 victory. Quarterback J.J. McCarthy showcased his prowess with 335 passing yards, while Blake Corum contributed significantly with 3 touchdowns and 44 rushing yards. The receiving corps, led by Roman Wilson's 143 yards from 9 receptions, added to the team's offensive spectacle. Penn State, with only 1 setback in their first 8 games, a 20-12 loss to Ohio State, has been a scoring force, averaging 39 points per game with 40 total touchdowns. Their passing and rushing attacks have proven highly effective, setting the stage for a formidable offensive unit. In their recent matchup against Maryland, Penn State dominated every quarter, securing a resounding 51-15 victory. Quarterback Drew Aller showcased his skills with 240 yards and 4 touchdowns, while Katron Allen contributed 91 yards and a touchdown on the ground. Keandre Lambert-Smith and Dante Cephas led the receiving efforts. This clash between Michigan and Penn State stands as the premier game on Saturday's schedule and holds significant implications for the Big Ten conference standings. Notably, the line has narrowed to 4, marking the smallest spread the Wolverines have faced all season, with the closest being -17.5 on the road at Nebraska. Both teams share striking similarities, boasting top-ranked defenses nationally, with Michigan allowing a mere 7 points per game and Penn State conceding 12. Offensively, they both average around 40 points and hover around 400 yards per game. The breakdown of rush and pass yards also mirrors each other. However, the crucial difference lies in the experience levels of the quarterbacks. J.J. McCarthy, in his 3rd year with the Wolverines and 2nd as the offensive leader, brings a wealth of experience, boasting a remarkable 21-1 record as a starter. In contrast, Drew Aller's exposure to significant games stands at just 2, with a standout performance against a 24th-ranked Iowa and a struggle against Ohio State. Examining their previous matchup in the last season, Michigan emerged victorious with a 41-17 win. Michigan's ground game, amassing 339 rushing yards, played a pivotal role, while Penn State's formidable rush defense allowed only 112 yards per game in 2022. Despite off-field controversies potentially impacting Michigan's playoff prospects and coach Jim Harbaugh's potential suspension, the Wolverines entered this game with an unblemished record, showcasing dominance in the Big Ten. While Penn State generated preseason hype, their offensive struggles against Ohio State raised concerns. Michigan's defense, superior to Ohio State's, could pose significant challenges for Penn State. Believing in Michigan's disciplined, mistake-free approach and their edge at quarterback, the Wolverines are favored to secure victory even with the ongoing off-field concerns. Expecting a double-digit win, the Michigan Wolverines to win and cover the spread as favorites is our full-game side pick. As for the total points, the matchup of the nation's top 2 defenses might suggest a lower-scoring affair. However, the current trend in the total points projection challenges this assumption. The total has increased from its opening at 43.5 to 45.5 7.5, indicating a potential for scoring on both sides. Michigan's efficient offense, showcasing versatility in both rushing and passing, suggests they will score effectively. Recent performances, including scores surpassing 40 points, further support this notion. Penn State, while likely to score, may not match the rate of the Wolverines, especially considering their previous struggles against Ohio State. Reviewing last season's matchup and the recent scoring trends for both teams, the pick leans towards the over, anticipating a game that surpasses the 45.5-point mark. Expect both teams to contribute to the scoring, aligning with the recent high-scoring patterns. Over the projected total is our full game total pick. Alabama versus Kentucky. In a late-season clash of Southeastern Conference contenders at Kroger Field, the Alabama Crimson Tide journeys to Lexington, Kentucky to face the Wildcats. The 8-1 Tide, ranked 8th nationally, are on a 7-game winning streak since their early season loss to the Texas Longhorns. On the flip side, Kentucky, after a promising start with 5 wins in their first 6 games, has stumbled, losing 3 of their last 4, despite a notable victory over their rival Florida Gators late in September. The historical record between these two schools heavily favors Alabama, standing at 38-2-1. Alabama's entry into this game follows a resounding 42-28 victory over LSU, marking their 7th consecutive win and elevating their season record to 8-1. Quarterback Jalen Milroe boasts 1,836 passing yards, 13 touchdowns, and 5 interceptions with a 64.8% completion rate. The rushing attack is led by Jace McClellan, who has amassed 632 yards and 5 touchdowns, and Roydell Williams, contributing 395 yards and a pair of scores. Milroe, showcasing dual threat prowess, has added 297 rushing yards and a team-high 9 touchdowns. Jermaine Burton heads the receiving group with 537 yards and 5 touchdowns, while Isaiah Bond leads in receptions with 28, accumulating 420 yards and 3 touchdowns. The defensive effort is spearheaded by Caleb Downs with 76 total tackles, Dallas Turner with a team-high 7 sacks, and Chris Braswell with 6.5 sacks. The Kentucky Wildcats, with a 6-3 record, enter the contest on the back of a 24-3 victory over Mississippi State. Quarterback Devin Leary has posted 1,905 yards, 18 touchdowns, and 7 interceptions with a 57.4% completion rate. Ray Davis leads the Wildcats' ground game with 903 rushing yards and 9 touchdowns. Tavian Robinson tops the receiving yards chart with 462 and 3 touchdowns, while Dane Key contributes 431 yards and 4 scores. Barian Brown adds 358 receiving yards and 2 touchdowns, and Davis leads in receiving touchdowns with 5. On the defensive side, Derrick Jackson leads with 58 total tackles, while Trevin Wallace and Deone Walker each have 4.5 sacks. J.J. Weaver and Maxwell Hairston contribute with 4 sacks and a team-high 5 interceptions, respectively. As 11-point favorites, Alabama and Kentucky present seemingly similar statistical profiles, averaging just over 30 points per game while allowing nearly 20. Both teams exhibit comparable passing and rushing yardage, as well as similar defensive performance metrics, suggesting a closely contested matchup on paper. However, recent performances indicate a divergence in momentum. Alabama has elevated its game with convincing wins over tough opponents like LSU and Tennessee, covering the spread in both instances and surpassing their season scoring average. Quarterback Milroe's dynamic play, whether through passing or running, has been a catalyst for their success, exemplified by his impressive 155 rushing yards and 4 touchdowns against LSU. Alabama's efficiency, evident in a 53.6% third down conversion rate over the last 3 games, positions them as a formidable force. Conversely, Kentucky's offense has faced challenges, and the preseason hype around quarterback Devin Leary has not materialized as expected. Leary's recent eye injury adds an element of concern, and the rushing attack, once formidable, has witnessed a decline in production. Facing Alabama's robust defense, particularly after recent dominant performances, poses a significant hurdle for Kentucky. While the Wildcats may find solace in the upcoming winnable games, this matchup against a resurgent Alabama team remains a formidable challenge. Expecting a spirited effort from Kentucky on home turf in this Southeastern Conference battle, considering Kentucky's physical style of play, the Kentucky Wildcats to cover the spread as underdogs is our full game side pick. Delving into offensive efficiency, both teams rely on big plays, evident in their relatively low play counts per game. Despite both teams averaging around 30 points, their defenses excel in limiting opponents to approximately 5 yards per play. Kentucky's struggle on third downs, particularly with a 37.8% conversion rate, further exacerbates their offensive challenges. This is expected to be more pronounced against Alabama's formidable defense. Moreover, both teams boast disruptive defenses with a knack for getting into the backfield, as indicated by Alabama's average of 3.3 sacks per game and Kentucky's 2.4. Alabama's offensive vulnerability to sacks, coupled with the anticipated decrease in plays per game for both teams, suggests a lower scoring contest. Under the projected total is our full game total pick. Texas Tech versus Kansas. In a Big 12 conference clash on Saturday, November 11th, Texas Tech clashes with number 16 Kansas. The Red Raiders, with a 4-5 season record and 3-3 in the conference, snapped a 2-game losing streak with a narrow win over TCU in their previous outing. The Jayhawks, boasting a 7-2 season record and a 4-2 conference standing, are experiencing their best season since 2008, notably defeating Iowa State on the road in their recent game. Seeking to reach a .500 record after a 35-28 triumph over TCU, the Texas Tech Red Raiders rely on Bayron Morton, who has thrown for 978 yards, 10 touchdowns, and 2 interceptions with a 61.9% completion rate. The ground game is led by Taj Brooks, amassing a team-high 1,037 yards and 7 touchdowns. Xavier White tops the receiving chart with 388 yards, while Miles Price leads in receptions with 38, totaling 381 yards and 5 touchdowns. Defensively, Ben Roberts leads with 72 total tackles, Miles Cole records 3.5 sacks, and Malik Dunlap and Dadrian Taylor Demerson each have 3 interceptions. Kansas, avoiding a letdown against Iowa State with a 28-21 victory, stands at 7-2 for the season. Quarterback Jason Bean, with 1,418 yards, 10 touchdowns, and 4 interceptions on a 60.7% completion rate, commands the Jayhawks offense. Devin Neal leads the rushing attack with 828 yards and 9 touchdowns. Lawrence Arnold tops the receiving group with 515 yards and 2 touchdowns. Defensively, Kenny Logan Jr. leads with 61 total tackles, Austin Booker records 6 sacks, and Jerem Robinson has 4.5 sacks. Mello Dotson secures 3 interceptions for Kansas. Kansas, riding a solid season, has seen the spread move from -4 to -5, reflecting the team's strong performance. Jason Bean, proving himself as more than a backup quarterback, contributed to wins against Oklahoma, Iowa State, and UCF. In contrast, Texas Tech's inconsistent quarterback situation has hindered their chances for consistency. Both teams faced Brigham Young University, with Kansas securing an 11-point victory compared to Texas Tech's 13-point loss. Kansas, boasting the third-best scoring offense, faces Texas Tech's 8th-ranked scoring defense, indicating a challenging matchup for the Red Raiders. The Jayhawks, with a potent running game, are vying for a major bowl game, while Texas Tech aims to navigate the remainder of the season. Kansas, enjoying one of its best seasons in 15 years, backed by the dynamic duo of Arnold and Bean, is favored to win and cover the spread as favorites. The Jayhawks' home record, coupled with their effective rushing attack, positions them as strong contenders against Texas Tech. So the Kansas Jayhawks to win and cover the spread as favorites is our full game side pick. With both teams demonstrating offensive prowess, averaging 35 and 30 points per game for the Jayhawks and Red Raiders, respectively, a high-scoring encounter is anticipated, particularly considering Kansas' recent scoring trends and their propensity for high-scoring outcomes in home games, averaging 37 points over their last 4 games. Over the projected total is our full game total pick. That's all for now, so if you have any other games you would like reviewed, then leave a comment down below with the game you would like analyzed. Subscribe to our channel, leave a like on this video, and we'll get to it as soon as we possibly can. We would also love to hear your opinion on the picks presented to you in this video, whether you agree or disagree with them, so leave a comment down below and do let us know.